Hey everybody, welcome back to Mining Modern. I'm Corbin and this is Turbo Eldrazi, Serum Powder Eldrazi, whatever you want to call it. The point is, this is Eldrazi Winter Reborn. So, if you don't remember, the nomenclature for really bad times in Magic has always been to call something Winter after the infamous combo Winter of Urza's block. So, when Oath of the Gatewatch came out and Eldrazi got really broken in Modern thanks to Ayavugan, Eldrazi Nipple, and all these crazy new Eldrazi, it became known as Eldrazi Winter. It dominated the Pro Tour, it led to a banning of Ayavugan, etc. And you've seen Eldrazi Reborn as a bunch of different things. Eldrazi-tron, Bant Eldrazi, Mardu Eldrazi, on the list goes. But we've not had anything that looked like those original Eldrazi Winter's decks. Until now. So I found this listed. It done well in somewhere. I didn't catch it exactly where, but it really aims to recreate that brokenness where you have turn 1 Eldrazi Mimic, turn 2 Thought-Knot-Seer, turn 3 Smasher, etc. Now, how are we going to do that? Of course, if this deck was viable, it would already have existed, right? This is what people would have moved to. But what those decks did not have when they tried it was Serum Powder. So this is one of the weirdest cards in Magic. 3 mana artifact, tapped out 1 colorless mana. Whatever. However, anytime you could mulligan and Serum Powder's in your hand, you may exile all cards in your hand, then draw that many cards. So, remember Eldrazi Winter was capable of some broken starts. Well, this deck has some broken starts thanks to Serum Powder. You just up the amount of broken hands you can have because you can just exile your stuff away. So that's the idea. We're just looking for this nut hand where you have your Eldrazi Temple on turn 1, so you can go Eldrazi Mimic, hopefully into Thought-Knot-Seer, or you have a Simian Spirit Guide to play Chalice of the Void, to lock people out, etc. So, how does the deck look? Well, 4 Eldrazi Mimic. Copies Eldrazi when they come into play, great with really anything, but particularly with Smasher. Simian Spirit Guides, gotta ramp. Serum Powder, yeah, it can ramp, but mostly here it's enable more broken opening hands. Matter Reshaper, value Eldrazi, we all know about it, does a lot of different stuff. Now here's a fun one, Eternal Scourge. We've seen this in some decks at main deck Relic, some of the Blue Moon decks, etc. It's just it's a really recursive threat that you can't path out of the game, etc. However, it's even better in this deck because we're playing Serum Powder. So there's a lot of different ways for it to get exiled, which just means it's free value because it's sitting in exile. We also have 3 Gemstone Caverns, which if they're in your opening hand and you're on the draw, you can put them into play with a luck counter by exiling a card out of your hand, and then you get to start a land ahead. What's better to exile the Eternal Scourge? Or the Serum Powder if our hand is good, etc. So Eternal Scourge is pretty weird, but it's a great fit in this deck. Of course, Thought-Knot, Smasher you know about, Chalice of the Void you know about, just great in the Eldrazi-tron deck's really good, and this deck can turn 1 Chalice of the Void a lot. Also Endless Ones, the real throwback right here. Not quite as broken as when you have Ayavugan, you could just play him as 2/2s, but still pretty good with the Eldrazi Temple. Outside of that, we're entirely colorless mana base. So Temples, Caverns, Ghost Quarters for value, Mutavaults get in their attack, Waste, so if you get Path, you can get them. Blinkmoth Nexus, attack for a little more. Cavern of Souls allows you to, I guess in a pinch, you can name Ape or Spirit and cast a Simian Spirit Guide. But also it just makes our Eldrazi uncounterable. It's really the point here. And some Seagate Reiki just for the long game. Moving on to the sideboard, when you're limited to colorless, there's only so much you can do. But this deck does what it can. Pithing Needle for the combo matchups where you need it, or Planeswalkers, etc. Relic Progenitus for the graveyard decks. Ratchet Bomb for tokens, or Mandorks, or whatever you really need to deal with your problematic permanents. Warping Whale, this is a nice one. It counters a sorcery, so it can counter Escape Shift. It can also ramp in a pinch, and it can also exile something, but really its goal here is to counter a sorcery, which is pretty good against a lot of different decks. Hangerbacks for the grindy matchups where you just need a threat to stay on the table, and Walking Ballistas for the opposite of that, where you need to remove threats from the table. So that's the deck. Turbo Eldrazi, Serum Powder putting into use in Modern. I don't know how this is going to go, but it's going to be fun. So let's give it a shot. Thanks for watching.